That's just the way it is. You can't play that game. It says chin in your bird chest. All right? And you're
Mic audio, yeah, that's what you needed. Alright, welcome everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Project Console episode 29, Ubi-chart. So, before we get into our topics, I'd like everybody to introduce themselves.
Welcome to Project Console. I'm Jorah Eli Moonstar, and Ubisoft is on the news. It's been a while since we heard from them.
Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters, and I'm glad to be on another one of these. Yay.
Glad to have you. And before we we'll just get into our, let me pull up. Usually I'll just pull it up. We got into our first topic. Amy Hennig is grading, or obviously she's helping to write or writing a new Star Wars game. Also working on a Marvel game. What are your thoughts?
Mixed bag, because, well, I don't know how the Star Wars are going to end up, especially after how the movie series already went through.
Yeah.
Well, my thoughts are this. Considering that Amy Hennig has been associated with the good Uncharted games, like Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, they could have used her help writing that Uncharted movie script.
Uncharted 2.
Ooh.
Like, I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but Uncharted 2 is really, I really enjoyed that game. And then she was in Uncharted 3, but she left like halfway through for whatever reason.
Yeah, but they used a lot of her notes to flesh it out, because whether you like Uncharted 3 or not, it does like end that trilogy pretty well.
Yeah. But I really like the weirdness that happened at the end of Uncharted 2, and obviously the stuff that led up to that. But she's also, I think she also worked on Soul Weaver.
Yeah, I mean she's been around for a while.
Yeah.
My only thing is this: like someone who has you can look at their track record of the work, that the body of work they've done, and it's like, okay, she's had more hits than misses. So, and she knows how to write for video games compelling characters. Yeah. So, in that regard, it would be interesting to see her take, like, in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
or in a Marvel game.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
So, because like the Star Wars video games are a completely different animal than the Star Wars movies. Like, for example, from what I've heard, like the Disney Star Wars trilogy is trash, but a lot of people are enjoying Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, you can do it. You can make of it what you will. It's your decision. For me personally, I'm glad that she's back to doing something she wanted to do. It's a shame that she had to waste 3 years of her professional career over at Google during their Stadia initiative that they had no intention nor want nor desire to put some real oomph behind it in order to make it into a thing.
Yeah, because they realize that making video games is hard.
I think that Stadia could have worked if Google had actually laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like anything else, it's like when you were in school, like they call it when we were in elementary school and high school and junior high, they call it you have to set a pathway to success, which means there's a lot of prep work. You have a plan in place. Stadia feels like Google was more excited about the technology, but didn't have a plan in place to make anything happen. And then, like, everything was an afterthought. You know?
Yeah, they had the hardware didn't have the
but not the
software.
software.
But
I mean, not even the software. They had the idea, hey, there's this technology that will enable you to play games through your internet connection. And not like simple games like chess or tic-tac-toe or you know, Connect 4 or like a mud like real games. But we have no plan in place on how to market it, on how to build the infrastructure behind it to add more stability, to so it's a more stable connection for people who have less less bandwidth versus more bandwidth. Like there was none of that. Like it was just
You'd
we
be better
have this.
off playing those muds.
And their pricing structure was god awful. It was terrible.
Yeah, yeah, and it could have been fixed with a simple thing. It's like, okay, you're streaming this, but like you pay your $60 or $40 or however much to stream it, but you also have the option to download it. If they had done that, no one would have said anything. They would have been like, okay, yeah, so now I have the ability to play this game. I also have the ability to download it,
Yeah.
and I can in the progress my saves and like whatever I unlocked carries over between the two versions. That would have been people would have loved that. But it's like I said, it was they were so entranced in the technology that they didn't really have any idea on how they were gonna really make this work. Kind of like Jurassic Park, Ian
I was
Malcolm.
gonna make a comparison of how Blockbuster screwed up and DVD and Blue and
You mean
Movie
streaming?
Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a real world thing, but I was going to use the quote from Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. He was like, you built this technology on the shoulders of giants, and you were so happy that you could do it that you didn't think about whether or not you should do it. and that's basically what Stadia was. It's like, oh, great, we can do this. It's like, okay, well, do you have a plan in place on how you're going to make this into a viable thing? Nope. That was Stadia. And I still stand behind that because, like, you look at Nvidia now, you look at Xbox with xCloud and Game Pass, stuff like that. Cloud gaming, like, if it's handled properly, can be a good thing. But Google, like, every left turn you can make that's the wrong turn, they did it.
Yeah. Even though I may not be a fan of game of that kind of gaming, like streaming your game directly to your system from the internet, I definitely didn't have any confidence in Google doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. What I'm saying is, like, I am basically like for me, the thing that kind of ruined it for me was the thing that ruined it for me was just like how they were just so
Confident.
well, like I said, like they were like, yeah, we're Google and we're gonna get this, and it's like, but you guys don't have a plan. Like, I mean, I don't know how you can run a like, okay, I am not a like my business isn't like huge, but it's not small either. Like I'm a small businessman, but you can't run even a small business. You can't run a lemonade stand if you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
So how in the world do you have a multi-billion-dollar business that Google has so much Google generates so much revenue that there are small countries that even if you combine multiple small countries' GDP, Google's revenue generation would still dwarf all of their GDP combined. And yet Google didn't have a plan for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's odd to me. Like, I don't know how you can be a successful business and not have a plan. But that's Google for you. That's they have no plans, none.
And I mean, their best bet now is just to. I think this was probably about a year ago, maybe a little over, maybe a little under. But now they're just renting out their software because they don't, or renting out their hardware, so they can try to make some money. Still keep making some money off of it.
Yeah.
So.
They're renting it out to Peloton. They're renting it out to Peloton, the people who sell those expensive bikes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use the joke that easily with that line. It's too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's just like, yeah, well, here's the thing. If a small business is incompetent, if you're a first-time business owner and you act incompetent, I'm like, okay, well, you didn't know. Google's been around for years. And for a company that's been around this long to be this incompetent, it's like...
Really?
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder who was on the lead.
Yeah. I mean, it does, but, what are you going to do,
But is there anything else you guys like to say about Amy Hennig's writing a new Star Wars game before we move on to our next topic?
Just
Best
that I
of
hope
luck
it's
to
good.
her. She might need it.
I mean, she has a big enough pedigree that whatever she does is probably going to be good.
Yeah,
but
but it's who she's working with that worries me.
Isn't she with EA? Not
I don't
EA.
think they're working with EA anymore. I don't. I think they're working with a different company. Well, let me look it up.
I said that because if she's working with a company that's known for screwing things up or worse, well, you can imagine how hard her job is.
Working with a company called Skydance.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know who exactly she's working with, so I don't want to say like she can't pull it off. Because like I said, some of the best Star Wars games we've gotten for a long time were ones that was Jedi Fallen Order. And Jedi Fallen Order is very much like, I mean, it's not perfect,
It's not perfect, but it's not so terrible that it'll make you feel quote unquote pride and accomplishment.
Skydance,
I mean,
yeah, Skydance New Media must be some kind of indie.
It's a new company, yeah.
New company, new developer.
Yeah. I mean, here's what I'll say about Star Wars, the Star Wars license. When Disney stopped giving it to EA and spread the license out to a lot of companies, yeah, you're going to get some bad Star Wars games, but you're going to get some good ones too, because anyone can bid on that license and make a game, which is a good thing. Because when EA had it, what do we get? We got Battlefront, which was mediocre at best. Battlefront 2, which was even worse. Star Wars Squadrons, which was I'd rather play Rogue Squadron 2 than the EA Squadron game from Factor 5. Even Rogue Squadron 3, which isn't that great. It's the weakest of the Factor 5 trilogy, but it's still better than what EA came out with. Jedi Fallen Order. Now, Jedi Fallen Order, like I said, isn't terrible, but
it's probably the best out of all the EA ones.
It's the best out of all the EA ones, discounting the mobile games that are just microtransaction messes, even more so than Battlefront 1 and 2. But I mean, the thing is, the problem with Jedi Fallen Order is that Jedi Fallen Order was a very safe game. Just like Lego Star Wars is a very safe. These are safe games. They don't push the envelope. There's nothing really new or interesting going on.
So, oh yeah, and one other game series that she also worked on was the Jack and Daxter series.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
It's fine.
she's been in it, so yeah, she's made some hits, so she's definitely not somebody that you need to worry about.
Yeah, like I said, she has a pedigree. Like if you have a pedigree of success, I'm not gonna be worried about you.
Yeah, Legacy
It's
of
like
Kain, Legacy of Kain, Jack and Daxter, and the Uncharted series, and those are all
yeah,
pretty high revered games. So
yeah. So I mean, okay, Legacy of Kain. Maybe the first game was kind of weird, but the later ones were pretty good. The first Jack and Daxter was kind of iffy, but 2 and 3 are great.
yep.
Uncharted, like that whole series overall is pretty strong. I know, like everyone has their favorite, but generally speaking, I would say that entire series is like a B minus, C plus, depending on the day and how people feel. So overall, she has a pretty good pedigree. You know, it's like I'm not gonna worry about a kid who is typically getting A minuses and B pluses in an English course in the next year of their English course. I'm just not going to worry about it. It's like, yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
not worried about her. Like, I'm not worried about what she's working on. Now, if EA was involved with it, or Google, or Ubisoft, even though Ubisoft is allegedly making a Star Wars game, but I'm like, I don't know if that's ever
Yeah.
going to be a thing.
That's the reason why I worry about who she's partnered with.
Again, we don't. It's like I said, it's a new company. I don't think they have any big publishers that we know of. Like your usual criminals like EA or Ubisoft. So
Yeah.
yeah. So our second topic of tonight is people are not happy with Halo Infinite's multiplayer progression. People have ducked out, and they said that they were going to have like a 3-month gap between their seasons, but between I think it's season 2 to season 3, it's like 6 months. So people are not particularly happy on how the game is progressing, and there are even people that are wondering if 343 should keep making Halo games. So
If I remember right, 343 has been on a mixed bag ride ever since they got a chance to ride Halo.
4 and 5 were not really all that well received.
Yeah, 343 Studios is not
Infinite
Bungie.
is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And Infinite, yeah, the campaign is a mixed bag, and people are dissatisfied with the multiplayer. And Halo Infinite, which makes me think that it wasn't necessarily designed to be a free to play experience, because if they taken this long to actually have craft a decent model, then it obviously was meant to be a full pack in with the campaign. But I think for whatever reason they were pushed to bring out the campaign earlier than I probably should have, because Microsoft needed something to move Xboxes.
Yeah, they should have pushed it back with this single player campaign.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to release the multiplayer early, they should have said, okay, this is a beta for the multiplayer. Which a lot of companies do these days. They release the multiplayer early and this is a beta. That actually would have been a brilliant marketing idea, actually. So then they could get feedback from people who want to play the game and add some, get like basically get people to, and not charge people for it, just early on. But if wishes were fishes, and hindsight is 2020. But we all know what really brought this game down. They took out Craig. Craig should have saved it. If they'd have said, look, in multiplayer you can create your own character, you can be the Arbiter, you can be Master Chief, you can be some random dude with a gun, or you can be Craig. just keep Craig in there. They got rid of Craig. That's when it went downhill. You should have kept Craig in there. Craig the Brute, who just looked totally uninterested in being there. Oh, whatever. Master Chief is killing all my brothers. Oh, well, I don't care. Oh, well, you shot me. I don't care. Life is meaningless anyway. They got rid of Craig, and Craig was the new face of the game, and y'all got rid of Craig. You can't do that. You can't get rid of Craig. That's like Nintendo getting rid of the Inklings. You can't do that. You can't get rid of the new face of a franchise.
Yeah.
They should have embraced. They should have really embraced Craig the Brute and made you could be, because I mean, that was the thing that kind of bothered me. Was kind of weird because in other Halo games, especially Halo 2, I think in the first Halo you couldn't play as different characters. Like you could have different skin colors, but you were still a Spartan. But in Halo 2 and 3, you play as the Arbiter. I think later on they added the Brute, stuff like that. You're basically just, I mean, it took them forever to add different playable
races
in the multiplayer. Well, different playable. Well, I mean, they all basically play the same, but they look different. It took forever, and I'm like, y'all, this was 343 ain't Bungie. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, and Bungie's already got their own mess to work with.
I mean, for good or for ill, whether you like Destiny 1 and 2 or not, you can't deny that mechanically, I'm not talking about how they roll out Destiny, how they support Destiny, but mechanically, Destiny has, it feels like it should, what it is, it feels like what it should feel like. None of the 343 Halo games really feel good to play. At least to me. I'm not I gotta play this. But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Hopefully they get back on track, but I mean, I don't know. It's been a year, over a year. It might be a little too late.
I think they can. I think they can pull it back. I think they can, because Halo. I mean, remember, people played Halo 3 for years. People played Halo 2 and 3 for years after those games came out. So, when you have if your multiplayer is strong enough, people will continue to play it. People are still playing Counter-Strike these days, and that game has been out for years. There's been no update. So, it just depends on how you feel about it, Do they have the impetus and the wherewithal? I think they might be able to pull it off. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it could happen.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, what they could do is just rebrand it. Obviously, come out with season 3 and kind of relaunch the multiplayer or something like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're so far in that like they've released a game and they can't do what Amazon did and de-release a game, put it back into beta, and then cancel. It's like I ain't never heard no shit like that before. I mean, could you imagine that you release a game and it's so bad that you put it back into beta and then cancel it?
Is that what they did with New World?
No, not New World. It was the other one. It was the one that was like a battle royale.
Oh, I don't even remember the name of it. I guess that's how irrelevant that game is.
Here, let me look it up because I remember it as clearly as, let's see, Amazon games canceled game. What was it called? It was Crucible.
Crucible, yeah.
Crucible was the game that was so bad that they literally put it back into beta and canceled it. And I'm like, y'all don't seem to understand how game development works, because in game development, even if you make a really bad game, what you do is that you shine it up as much as you can, and then you say, look, the servers will still stay on for a certain amount of time. We hope the people who are playing this game enjoy it, and we're going to call it a day. That's what you do. What you don't do is put it back into beta and then cancel it. I'm like, this is some of the sorriest half-ass shit I've ever seen before in my life. But it makes sense because the guy who was running Amazon Games Division, Mike Frazzini, knew nothing about gaming, like running a game company.
Yeah.
You know? And when you don't, I don't know why people keep on hiring people who don't know anything about what,
what something is.
Yeah, like why do you hire someone you don't know what something is? I don't get that.
Dude.
Like I wouldn't hire a chef for one of my for the back end of my for one of my establishments. So do you know? Have you ever worked in a professional kitchen before? Nope. Why would I hire someone like that? But I'm really good at working. I'm really good at stocking shelves. Those are two completely different skill sets.
I think I remember seeing this game. I guess you play as different animals or something like that.
In Crucible?
Yeah.
No, in Crucible, Crucible was kind of like
Maybe.
It was like their answer to Fortnite, kind of. Like it was kind of weird. Like it had basically like in Crucible, you would be, it was kind of like a MOBA mixed with a third person shooter, where each character had a little special ability, and like the different map modes. Like one of them was Crucible, where like you could take over different nodes on the map, which would give you resources which you could then spend to like cause certain events for your team and certain things to happen that would increase your victory objective and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, Crucible was an interesting idea. It's just everyone, like Crucible came out when everyone was trying to do a battle royale game. Yeah. Like everybody. And like, except for Fortnite and Overwatch, everyone was failing.
Yeah, he plays different. Obviously, he plays different classes. Some are more human-like, some are more animal-like. Kind of play on this alien-esque planet.
I mean, it looks cool. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it does. It did look cool. It's just too bad they didn't have. Sounds like they didn't have much structure to it.
Yeah.
But, a lot of these companies think. The problem with a lot of these companies is they want to get into gaming and they think gaming is just Well, it just happens. Let's just make the magic happen. It's just I think making video games is easy or something. It's like, if you just
Yeah,
make a game and shove it down everybody's throat, we can make oodles and oodles of cash.
yeah. Well, they follow trends.
Yeah, that's
Like if
true.
you look at the really successful games, they created a trend or they did their own thing, and people like Elden Ring. If Elden Ring had come out and it had been like Ubisoft's open world games, it wouldn't have done anything. It would have failed.
Yep. Yep.
But because, From Software did their own thing, that made it into a thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why people don't understand that. Like sometimes you just gotta
Reach
do
for
your
the
own thing.
stars.
Well, sometimes you gotta do your own thing. You can't always be trying to be like, Joe Blow over there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So our third topic is Sony and Microsoft are going to implement ads in their free to play games or in some of their games. Um, what are your
Oh
guys' thoughts?
boy. Didn't they try something like this already with certain games of sports?
I know they've tried to do something like
Well,
this.
that was EA.
No, they tried to do something like this in the past, and yeah, I think it was EA with one of their Battlefield games.
And Need for Speed.
Need for Speed, yeah. But for me, as long as they don't, as long as it's not super intrusive, and it's not abused like it is on free to play mobile games, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with it. I mean, if it could, if they can sell ad space in their free to play games and be a little less egregious with and it can help them be less egregious with microtransactions. That doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily against it. However, I think it should only be in free to play games.
Yeah.
Like if I'm paying $60 for a game, there shouldn't be ads in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And that's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I think some people are. Guess some people are freaking out about this, but I don't know. It's just one of those wait and see sort of things. When they actually do it, how egregious is it going to be? But anything else before? Anything else on this topic before we move on to the fourth topic? All right. Sonic's Origins pre-order is a mess. I don't know if you've seen the Sonic pre-order chart.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And it was some BS too.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They pulled the Ubisoft with the
Yeah. I mean, there's some things you get digital and some things you get from the physical, which is barely anything. And the fact that I heard that you're getting coins and rings and stuff for pre-ordering, I already got a bad feeling.
I mean, I know Sega's desperate for money, but
Are you desperate enough to be EA?
I mean, they aren't EA bad. It's kind of egregious.
Yeah, I mean, for starters, the game is $40. There's really no reason for this game to be that expensive.
Yeah, but you are getting a few bennies with your $40. You're getting the first three Sonic games plus Sonic and Knuckles, I think, something like that.
It's this
Plus, they say they're going to add other stuff later on. I guess something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, you can make the arguments. $10 per game, but plus the let's see so check out the pre-order bonus. So if you pre-order, I think this is the standard edition. You just get the main game, um, and if you get the, let's see, start dash pack, this is pre-order DLC. You get 100 bonus coins, mirror mode unlocked. Um, let's see, mirror mode unlock, and letterbox black background. And then there is the premium fun pack, um, which you get with that. You get a um, hard missions. You get letterbox background, um, character animations, the main menu. I don't know why that's locked behind it. Camera control on main menu island, and character animations during music islands.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. It's just they're kind of the problem is that Sega isn't really upfront with what you're paying for and what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know,
And then the classic music pack, you get additional music tracks from Mega Drive game titles. And the special edition, you get everything except 100 bonus coins and mirror mode unlocked. So it's just, this whole thing is just, it's a mess. They should have just had,
convoluted.
yeah, they should have just had like one special edition. Like this is kind of just for like $45-$50 or whatever.
Or just been like I'm not against them here, let me look it up. Okay, so essentially speaking, you're getting like 1 2 3 4 5 6, you're getting 6 games. So plus all this other stuff. The thing is you're absolutely right. This is too convoluted. They should have had like a basic version and a premium version, like a special edition, and that's it. Like, I don't know why they're doing all of this convoluted stuff, but you know, it's Sega. You know,
Yeah. Sega's gonna do what Sega does, I guess.
all these Japanese companies have their own weird things they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
And I know some people are going to get angry when they hear that, but they all have their proclivities. Nintendo has their proclivities, Sega has their proclivities, Capcom has their proclivities. They all have their own things that they do that we're going to be like, why would you do that?
I like I like what they did with the game. I like obviously the animated cutscenes that they have at the beginning
Yeah,
of the game, and it looked like they did a lot of touch ups in the way the games look. They look a little brighter, a little more colorful.
I
There's
mean,
widescreen support. It's
they are adding a lot of new stuff. I can't be like, oh, you didn't do anything.
yeah. So it's not like they're not doing anything.
It's just like they didn't explain well what it was you're getting for what you're spending your money on,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the flaw, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
But you can't have everything. That's life.
Yeah. I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, because $40 is not a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not. I guess it's not terrible for four games that probably would
Six.
six six games.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 games that would probably cost an arm and a leg if you were to buy them on eBay or something.
And plus, I mean, these games have been revamped. They've added a lot of new stuff to it. It's not just like a straight port. So it's just, I mean, really, this is more of an issue of they didn't really explain what you're getting. You know, there was no real explanation behind what you were getting, and that's kind of the problem. But you can't have everything, you know.
So for the last of our main topics, then after that, free topics. The Ada Lovelace architecture, the Ada Lovelace GPUs, NVIDIA GPUs will apparently at least the higher end, like the 4090, uh, might trip a switch in your house because it's using so much power. 600 watts. It's about it's roughly the TDP of this graphics card. At least that's the rumor. So you better have a nice electrical system, because obviously, these people aren't just going to use a mid-range CPU. You're going to use a high-end CPU with this. So yeah,
So everything high-end CPU, probably high-end M.2 drives, probably high-end probably maybe LED, RBG lights. Everything's going to be drawing a lot of power.
yeah, yeah. Things gonna be power hungry. It's just kind of weird how we just. I bring this up a lot. Just take a few steps back in efficiency, because I guess people wanted. Yeah, because they're chasing
Performance.
Yeah, they wanted performance. They've been chasing ray tracing, which still really isn't in a ton of games. And then they're chasing now the new gold standard is 8K. And how many people do you know that have 8K
Monitors.
monitors?
No one.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
it's a buzzword that people use, but no one really has 8K anything. Like you can't even get movies in 8K
no.
because you'd have to get them in IMAX, and no one has. Like unless you are an academic institution, you don't have access to IMAX.
Yeah.
Like schools, like if you go to film school and you're watching certain movies, they'll have them in IMAX. If you go to a museum, they have IMAX. If you go to a movie theater, they have IMAX. But all those movies you watch in a movie theater that are in IMAX, like not all of them, but most of them that you watch in IMAX, they have to do a special cut just for IMAX.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, and it's gonna be eye boggling how expensive these cards are gonna be too.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see people cry again. Oh
Yeah,
man.
but they bought it. I mean, you buy something, they made that choice. They wanted that. That's what they wanted. They bought it. So,
It's gonna be interesting to see what AMD does, because so far I've heard that it's going to be more efficient, but at the same time be able to keep up with the newer cards. So that's the rumor, but
it's probably going to be what they always do, which is it's going to be decent, but not as good as Nvidia's top tier card, which it shouldn't be because Nvidia's top tier cards are like, if you get a deal, are like $8,000.
yeah.
Like I mean, if you buy a graphics card for for 10 grand, it better be really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you buy a sports car for $500,000, it better be really good.
It better be excellent.
You know, so people want perform. Look, if people want to spend money on it, they can knock themselves out.
Yeah.
It's their money. But I don't want to hear these same people complaining about it. I want to hear, well, my electric bill went up. Well, you bought it.
Huh.
No one held your feet to the fire and said, buy that. You chose to buy it. So I don't want to hear any complaints about it after the fact.
Well, when they announced the Lovelace, their Lovelace lineup, for people who are looking for GPUs, prepare for everybody to get swept up in the marketing hype and start dumping all their old GPUs for peanuts and a can of soda, just so they can bring.
And look how it turned out.
I don't think you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna have the rush that you had years ago.
Yeah, I think people are pretty mad at Nvidia right now.
No, it's just a money thing. People, if you have to make a choice between paying your putting money, like having money for savings because stuff is tough, and buying a new graphics card, you're probably most people are gonna go for savings.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be real hard for you to play your computer games when you don't have a place to live.
Yeah, that's true. You kind of need a place to live. You need somewhere to plug in your computer.
So, at least that's my estimation. I could be wrong.
That's a possibility, but even during the recession of 2008, people were still buying, iPhones and stuff on credit. So,
Yeah, but it's a different that was a different generation of people. That's not the same people now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different. It's different.
Maybe people, either people will get smarter or things have gotten so tight that you can't just go out with your credit card and buy a $1,500 product.
It's not just that, but let's use some critical thinking here. Most people who are gaming, most gamers, as it were, most gamers these days are playing games that are not graphically demanding. They don't need,
You don't need to talk to your card.
No, they don't even need it. They don't need to. If they have one of the new APUs that have come out from Nvidia or Intel, they're fine.
Yeah, you're pretty much good with a 6800 or a 3060. Like, it's
so
stuff like DLSS and AMD's equivalent. Yeah, you'll be pretty good for a while.
If all you're playing is Fortnite, like games in Minecraft, games that are not graphically demanding, then it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
And if when a pre-built PC is cheaper than what you would have to spend on a if a pre-built PC is cheaper than what you would spend for just a graphics card, one of the newer graphics cards, you get more bang for your buck with a pre-built PC than the graphics card. Because with a pre-built PC, you get decent performance, you get the hard drive, you get a decent CPU, you get the PSU, you get a decent motherboard and a case and all the cables and the mouse and keyboard and all that stuff. So if you want to upgrade later on, you can. Just money-wise, it doesn't make sense, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong.
Avoid getting a pre-built from Dell. Whatever you do, don't get it.
Yeah, don't buy anything from Dell. Dell should be called. Oh, this is built to fail.
Yeah.
It's going to fail in 3 to 4 years.
It's really gone downhill.
I mean, they were never uphill, to be honest with you. And I say this as someone who had a Dell when I was in the last 2 years in high school. My family bought a Dell, and it died on me like right after graduation, high school graduation. Then I got one when I went to I did pre-college, where you take like 12 credits worth of courses, and like I had a Dell desktop, and that thing died on me after 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that Dell products, and this was back in 2006, but I don't think Dell's gotten much better since then.
No.
That was almost 20. That was almost 14 years ago. No, 16 years ago. That was over 15 years ago. I don't think they've gotten much better, do you?
I've heard things. I heard good things about their XPS laptops, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're on the free topics. Is there any topics that you guys like to bring up?
I don't know. Joel, do you have a topic you wanna bring up?
Personally, I'm tempted to bring up the Mario movie being delayed, but I'm not sure if we want to save it for Wednesday.
No, that's a topic.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it was delayed until 2023. So hopefully, lessons are being learned.
Well, if anything,
Yeah.
they didn't show a trailer yet, so we don't know if it's good or bad. But if anything, a delayed thing is usually good.
Yeah, I think they're saying, well, it was because of the pandemic we're being delayed. I don't think so. I think the reason they delayed it is because they wanted to get it into another year so that it's not going to be compared to the Sonic movie.
That's possible.
Or any of the other animated films that have been that are being bandied about as of late.
Question: how many animated movies have been released this year?
I think 2, but the bad guys just can't. The bad guys are doing really well, so
Okay. So if anything, so far animated movies have been on a win streak.
Yeah, and like it would not look good for Nintendo if they did their Super Mario movie and it was terrible.
Yeah.
So they probably are pushing it back to revamp it because, like I said, Illumination is like in that third tier. Like if the number one top tier is Pixar and below them is DreamWorks, and then you have Illumination and Skyline. And like Illumination is very hit or miss with their movie. Like their animation isn't terrible, but it's like Illumination's big thing is that they love to get
the plots. They're big star focused, right?
Yeah, they love to get celebrity voice actors, whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like
Depends
who's hot right now?
Depends on who you're working with, but yeah.
They're like, who's hot right now? Okay, we're gonna put them in the movie. We're gonna get them as a voice actor, and it's like, why? Because they're hot, not whether or not they're a good fit for that character. So that's kind of the flaw with Illumination, is that they just kind of just
they use star power for their story.
Yeah, they don't focus on good writing. Like you can say whatever you want to about Pixar, and I know not everyone loves Pixar, but Pixar really does focus on good writing first before anything else. Whereas DreamWorks focuses on Like they might not have DreamWorks. Like Pixar tends to have like some really deep stuff. DreamWorks doesn't go as deep. DreamWorks is like, okay, we can't hit at that level, so we're going to do our own thing. So we pretty much do parody, and DreamWorks' parody is actually pretty good too. Or their own twist on established things. But Illumination, really, I mean, their big thing was Despicable Me. And Despicable Me 2. And then they did Minions, which they ran that into the ground because they got greedy. So, like, right now it's like, okay, Illumination wants to do, what's it called? They're going to do a Mario movie, but, like, I don't really see how they would be able to really pull that off. So, in a good way. I mean, it's probably going to be well animated, but I just don't see there's any way to pull off a Mario animated Mario movie in a way that's going to be satisfactory. But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. I go see the movie and it's going to be amazing. Doubt it, but if I'm wrong, it's a pleasant surprise. If I'm right, I'm like, well, I saw this coming. But yeah, it was pushed back and they claim so that they can work on it, but I'm like, yeah, I think there's more to it than that. But I could be wrong, as I said.
All right. Well, my free topic is. Hey, did you have a free topic, Mr. Redphone?
I mean, I was, but it was just going to be about. It was going to be about the Dragon Age BioWare QA testers wanting to create a union. But I'll save that for tomorrow. What was your free topic, Kenoshi?
Square Enix has lost their mind again. They are making a here the
Please tell me it's not a pachinko machine.
they're making a nearly $12,000 statue of the Final Fantasy VI art, the Final Fantasy VI cover. Only making about 600 of these. These are handcrafted statues.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, they look badass as hell. I'm not gonna lie, it's Terra and her.
I was about to say that kind of bites me because I like Final Fantasy VI, but hearing how much those things cost, yikes.
Yeah, it kind of upsets me because it's arguably my favorite character. It's one of my favorite characters in arguably my favorite. Well, not arguably my favorite Final Fantasy game. And it looks amazing, but it's like $1,100. Like even Hironobu Sakaguchi, the guy who created Final Fantasy, is like, "What the fuck, man?"
No, it's more than 11. It's over $11,000.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like,
it's over 10 grand.
And the thing is, I really want it though.
Yeah, no, you're looking at it's like
I might have to. I mean, like, I might have to. Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't give a. I don't really care about Square, about Squall Leonhardt or Cloud Strife or Lightning or Titus or Sedaine, but I love me some Final Fantasy VI, and it's Terra and her Magitech armor, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I know.
I totally want it, but I also don't want to spend 11.
You do not want to go bankrupt because of it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go bankrupt, but it's like I'd have to pay for shipping, and there's no guarantee that by the time it got to me, it wouldn't be damaged. Because this is the type of thing. This is the type of thing you buy and you put on a display mantle, and you don't want it broken. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a trophy item.
Yeah, basically.
What 1/6 scale? How big is that?
I think that's about I think that's tall enough to either be
Probably
an
be a little
action.
over a foot in size.
I was about to say a tall action figure about 1 or 2 feet.
I think it'd be 2 feet. Probably be like a little under a foot, or it might be bigger. I don't know. I mean, like, here's the thing. It looks like it's got some quality. It's got swappable parts. It looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I know what some people are gonna say. Oh,
God.
you fanboy. It's like, look, man. If you go on my Discord channel, I put a thing in here of something that I'm definitely buying, which is the Exo 6 Deep Space Nine Captain Sisko figure, and it's $150. But that's $150. I mean, that's something I can spend no problem. $1,100 plus shipping, so you got to probably tack on another $200. So $1,300.
So why did they?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So why-
$11,300.
So why did Tara go from having green hair to blonde hair? What was?
Because if you play in the original game, she's got kind of greenish blonde hair. Like, you know how Link in the early Legend of Zeldas was redheaded and Zelda
If
was
I remember
redheaded.
right, Link had
Yeah.
pink hair before they turned it gold.
Was it?
Well, he had pink hair in Link to the Past, but that was because of the color limitations of the SNES. But like in the animation, like if you look at like the book version, like the little illustrations of Link in the manual, he had red hair. He had like dark red hair, and Princess Zelda had red hair. And then over time, they kind of changed her hair to being blonde, and Link's hair has gone from blonde to brown to dark red. Like the color changes. All I know is that it looks great, and I want it, but I don't want to spend $1,100 plus on it. So it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing is definitely expensive. That's for sure. I wonder if they'll make one that's $300-$400, something that's a little more downscale. A version that's like $300-$400, something a little more reasonable. But
I mean, it looks nice, and I totally get it, but I also, for me, it's not so much. I mean, the price is a big deal, but for me, the big thing is just the shipping. Because, the shipping would be...
yeah.
And there's no guarantee that by the time you got it, it wouldn't be damaged. Because you spend that type of money, you want that stuff to come in pristine.
It's the thing about like dealing with like UPS or FedEx or any of these companies. They just like throwing your packages around.
Well, with this, you wouldn't even do UPS or FedEx. You'd have to get it specialty shipped through like an international shipper, and that would be really expensive. So.
Oh yeah, and I bet.
Add to the price.
Yeah.
And that's another point. It's like this is also coming from Japan. You're probably ordering it straight from Japan, so I expect the shipping and the taxes and all the other stuff to make the price of this thing go up even more.
This is the type of thing that if I was still traveling abroad, I would go to Japan and just buy it myself.
Yeah.
And then pack it, like get a suitcase just for putting it in there, and then fly back. That's what I would do. That'd probably be the best way to get it, because I don't trust
the postal service.
I don't trust any, like, it's not even the postal service, even though USPS for the last few years has sucked. But that's because the Postmaster General is a piece of shit. But that's neither here nor there. This is just one of those things that I don't, because I've had a really expensive stuff I've ordered from other places get to my house and be damaged. Because I got a Berserk figurine for like $800 of guts, and it's one of those interchangeable. It's one of those interchangeable ones where you can you have the different things.
And you can pose them how you want.
Well, you can't. Well, you can change the body parts into different poses and stuff like that. And it's got guts, and it's got like a little diorama you can put them on with stuff around it that you can change around it. And it was $800. And I mean, this isn't at that level, but it was still. I mean, at the time, I was making a lot less money, and so I saved up for it, and it came in damaged. and one of the parts was missing, and I called, and eventually they sent me a replacement on their charge. But I had to fight for it, so and that was just $800.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot of money to just. That's just a lot of money to just let walk away.
maybe. Well, it took them 6 months to send the new one. It wasn't like an immediate thing. It took them a while because it was specialty made. It was special made. It wasn't like it wasn't manufactured on an assembly line or anything like that. Because if you want really good, because I mean, at the end of the day, these are toys. If you want really good toys, folks, like everyone keeps on thinking action figures are for kids. No, they aren't. Kids can't afford these. These are for adults. These are for people with money. Okay.
I was gonna say those figures that are over $100 and more, those are for adults.
I tell you right now, I wish someone. I guarantee you, if someone had a little kid and they came into their room and broke this, I guarantee that kid's gonna get the shit kicked out of them by their parents, and I don't blame them. Because this is not for kids. This is for big kids. This is for adults. Yeah. This is for people in their 30s and 40s who have disposable income. This is not for these are for kids. No, they video games really aren't for kids either. Because I mean, think about it. Like if you want to buy one of the newer consoles now, you're going to spend between $500 to $650 plus tax, so $700. Plus, you're going to buy maybe 2 or 3 controllers, so that's another. The controllers are more expensive than some of the games, so that's another one. That's $210 right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're spending basically $1,000 on these consoles. Do you honestly think a little 5-year-old kid, 6, 7, 8-year-old kid has $1,000 to buy a new console and games and all the little accoutrements that come with that? Hell no.
Nope.
This is an adult hobby. This is an adult hobby, okay? An adult with disposable income. All right?